Howdy, it's 2 o'clock. I'm doing a Facebook Live. I've sort of challenged myself to do a live that's a little bit longer than the 1 or 2 minutes that I normally do. Those lives tend to be some little nugget of wisdom that been popping in my head, and just need to get it out and get it exposed to the wider audience. Today's live, it's there's no agenda. It's just going to be rambling. I don't really know what I'm going to talk about. I did put some information into a group asking if they give me some ideas about what to put in. But here we are, Saturday morning, 2 p.m. So starting off with good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Whilst that's true for the Truman Show, which is a very good film, I use it because I'm saying good morning to my family and my friends who are in the Caribbean, New York, Florida. So to you, good morning. Good afternoon to my family and friends who are here in the UK, Central Europe, Iceland, Sweden, Spain, Finland, Denmark, and South Africa. So to you, good afternoon. Good evening to my friends who are out in Singapore and Malaysia, and good evening, good night to my friends, particularly those in Brisbane in Australia. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. As I say, there's no agenda, but the idea is for me to do this for longer than just 1 or 2 minutes. Let me just tell you that I like maths, I like numbers, I love the beauty that is numbers, because wherever you're going in the world, numbers are true. So here in the UK, 1 plus 1 equals 2. Uno plus uno equals dos, which is true. Ich plus ich equal ni, which is true. So the beauty about numbers is that they never lie. They always tell the truth. Numbers are what they are. And it goes to the idea that the truth about something is whatever it is, and whatever language you speak, it doesn't make any difference, because the truth is the truth. And I have some friends I have one friend in particular who's a professor of mathematics, and I like him because I like the way that he thinks. He likes maths, he likes his numbers, like me. But most of all, what he likes is the fact that if you can understand the basics of maths, of numbers, you can solve any problem. No matter how complicated the problem is, as long as you know the basic, you can arrive at the solution. Now, it might take you a lot longer than somebody else that's very gifted at maths, but if you know the basics, you should arrive at the same result. And therefore, in relation to science in particular, this is what I like about having a peer review. So if you do something in a logical manner and you repeat the same steps, you should always get the same results. And if somebody somewhere else in the world follows your steps, they should get the same results. Now, if they don't get the same results, then there's a variance. And the question is, what is a variance? Is it something in your methodology? Is it something in their methodology, or is something that is different from one side of the world to the next? And again, coming back to numbers, this is what I love about numbers. No matter where in the world you go, the numbers are the same. 1 plus 1 equals 2, wherever you're going to go. I am just going to be rambling. I have no sort of agenda about this. I don't know where it's going. If you've got any sort of ideas that you want me to talk about, just put them into the chat and I'll try and accommodate them. I mean, I have to admit I don't know everything. And in the areas that I do know, I will make a comment, but there are other areas where I don't know, and therefore I'll just keep my mouth shut. But one of the things that most people have been struggling with, and I think everybody's struggling, this thing about this isolation thing. So sometime later today, I'm kind of looking forward to going out and to go barefoot, walk in the grass, find myself a nice tree and give it a big hug because in the absence of this social isolation thingy, then you couldn't do far wrong than to go out and just hug a tree. Oh dear, I'm a bit of a loon. But yeah, been in isolation and locked down for a little while, so of course that's going to make you a little bit crazy. So yeah, I think I've gone a bit more than 3 minutes, and I think I'm coming to the end of all the things that I have to think about and say, because I didn't want to have an agenda. I didn't want to be pre-planning what I was going to say. I was just going to try and talk about something that popped in my head. I've purposely not gone to work today. I've purposely tried to keep my mind open so that I can just talk about whatever comes into my mind. Oh yeah, there you go. Thinking again about the situation that we're in. There may or there may not be things that you can do about the situation, and it might be that we're just in a situation we've just got to live through it. But my rationale behind the whole thing is that there are things that you can do to make change. There are some things that you can't do. So the only thing that I concentrate on doing is looking after myself and my own, because that's the only thing that's near to me and dearest to me. I can't affect other people that are not in this household. I can't affect governments, and you shouldn't really rely on government or anybody else, in fact, to look after you. You should always just look after yourself. So I noticed a comment this morning by a young lady, and she's just very young. She's only just in her early 20s, but she's got the right mindset. Her philosophy is that she should look after herself first, because unless you look after yourself first, there's no way that you can help other people. So although we might have different ideas about what's going on, I didn't want to talk about COVID-19 because that's slightly political, and it's slightly, I don't know, some people on one side believe something and some people on another side believe another thing. And the truth is somewhere in the middle, or perhaps far at some other end that we don't know about. But the idea behind all this is that the truth is whatever the truth is. So all that you can do in the meantime is look after you and your own. So yeah, again, I won't mention her name, but she's my friend's daughter, and she's got a very, very nice, very strong young lady. So she's got the right idea about looking after herself and looking after her own. So whatever the outcome of this COVID is, whatever it's one thing or another, your job is really just to look after you and your own. What else can I tell you? I have some friends that over in Australia, they'll yeah, hi. Yeah, I've got some Aussie friends that are just still awake, and I know that they're talking about the same sort of things, and they're talking about getting back to nature. Not exactly, well, it's easier for them to live off the land, I think, because they got more space and they're actually doing it. But again, coming back to not relying on other people and other things, don't rely on supermarkets for the quality of food. If you can grow your own, then certainly you should grow your own. It shouldn't be too difficult to grow some microgreens. If you've got space for chickens, obviously have some chickens around, collect some fresh eggs. But you shouldn't rely on other people and other things just for your future welfare. And if you can do a little bit, then certainly you should just go ahead and do that. I am just rambling now. I'm just trying to stretch the time out of it, just so this is not a 2 or 3 minute live. Perhaps another one I can be a little bit better at that. But I honestly don't want to take too much more of your time because I'm just waffling. And hopefully the sort of 1 minute, 2 minute lives where you just come out with this pearl of wisdom, there'll be more of those, and you can spend time watching those instead. Appreciate your time for being here, and I love you, Natalie. I love you, Tracy, but Tracy knows that. And the other lady, oh, that's my wife. I love you, Marge. Speak to you soon.